I was not a good kid. I was kind of on the fringe, on the lunatic fringe. My friends, skateboarding, surfing, smoking weed. I remember going to school after ditching school the day before, coming up here to Amoeba Records from Monterey with a friend, and then coming back with Surfer Rosa from the Pixies on vinyl. And like, look at this. Yeah, you're not coming over to my house to listen to this, but maybe you can.
Maybe I was walking down a street.
I remember hearing the blues for the first time.
Maybe it was close to your place.
And my mom told me that it was B.B. King. And the very next day she took me down to Recycled Records in Monterey and told me to pick out a tape, and I found B.B. King live in Cook County Jail. And I spun that thing off the cassette. It was done.
Create smooth waves in the marble.
I just remember the lady that comes out in the beginning and introduces him as the man, the one, the only. They introduce the warden and everyone boos him. And then he starts off and he just starts ripping, into it. And it took me to this other place from Monterey.
I want to know who's gonna take us home.
I was trying to learn some country licks, and I was taken under the wing of Dale Watson. And one night he didn't like the solo that I was doing, so he slapped my arms away from behind me and then reached over and played a solo.
Like learning in reverse.
While I stood there like I was a guitar stand. It was humiliating. People were laughing. It was awful. And I hated the man right after that, and I left, and I was hurt and crushed. And then the next day he showed up to my house with a cup of coffee and 10 Merle Haggard CDs. He says, learn this shit, like do it right.
Maybe it was close to my place.
I love the man. I mean, I went to the Grand Ole Opry with him and stood on the stage of the Ryman Theater, So there kind of started my love for country music, and I did about 7 years touring with a country band. Got to play with Ronnie Millsap and Willie Nelson and some pretty heavy hitters. Did a USO tour in Iraq, played the Grand Ole Opry twice. Music is not a flash in the pan thing. It never has been. It's been more of a curse and and a love, you got to do it. You have to be willing to sleep on couches and have dirty clothes in a plastic bag and bum strings off of people. But that's also really good stuff. That's how you get the road miles that are essential for you to get a depth of ability in either your instrument or your songwriting and stuff. It's those hard miles, I think, that gives you that, that depth. I think one of my most satisfying musical moments happened recently. We got to play San Quentin Prison. And, bucket list, right? Johnny Cash. We had that opportunity because we did this show for San Quentin 5 years ago at the Sweetwater. And we sold the place out and we raised them a bunch of money. And my stipulation was playing a yard show. I was like, I want to play in the yard. And when we rode in there to go play the music, the sound guy, inmate, came up and he said, I've been waiting 6 years to shake your hand. And he said, look at the stage. You bought all of that. You guys bought all of that shit. I was 13 years old, and my sister came home with a tattoo on her ribs, and it was a little dancing skeleton that she called Nijinsky. And she came into my bedroom while I was sleeping and showed it to me. I couldn't believe it. It was the first tattoo I'd ever known on somebody that I loved, and it just took me away, and I became obsessed immediately and started drawing tattoos. And in 2 years I had my own professionally done tattoo, and when I was 17 I started tattooing. I was, when I was in high school, they had career day, and I told the counselor that I wanted to be a tattooer, and he said, "You can't do that." I said, "Yes, I can." Now that I've opened up a shop in my 40s, I feel good about the marriage of music and art. They kind of vibe off each other. No one's pushing the other one out of the way anymore. In my 40s, I think all of these parts have figured out where they need to be. It's all become just what I do. Music and art for me have always been the ways for me to kind of stay focused, be able to process pain, enjoy pleasure, triumph. All of it has made me feel good. It's given me confidence. It's made me trust myself. It's made me question myself. It enables me to deal with all of life's issues and things that everyone goes through, but some people don't make it through. For me, there's no other choice. I mean, it's never been a choice. You just have to play.